Me and Lisa was really close, so no one teaches you how to grieve, but I don't feel like I ever got to grieve properly because I've lost loved ones. Like my aunt passed while I was writing this book. My grandma passed.
All right. I just gotta tell you that I had a real frightening dream last night. I dreamed that I woke up and I looked at the sun and it was like a fourth of the size of the earth. That's how big it was.
So, T-Boz just joined the Diddy chat, and she's bringing explosive receipts proving Diddy had something to do with the death of her former bandmate Lisa Left Eye Lopes. Yeah, we know the internet detectives have been going wild with conspiracy theories about Diddy, but this one looks like it might be legit. Have you guys ever wondered why so many of the mysterious deaths in the early to mid-2000s somehow involve Diddy or his close circle? I mean, if there's anything we've learned about the industry, it's that nothing happens by coincidence. Allegedly, all the people who ever had receipts about Diddy's shady parties, from Left Eye to Aaliyah to Kim Porter, all got unalived so they wouldn't expose Diddy. And now that Diddy is behind jail, the truth is coming out. So, is there something we're all missing about Left Eye's death? And is there a Diddy connection here that explains everything? We're going to break everything down now.
Aaliyah, Left Eye, and Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson! Now check this out. All three of them, they died on the 25th day of the month.
Lisa Left Eye Lopes passed away over 2 decades ago, but her death remains a mystery to many fans and industry insiders because so many things don't add up about it. For one, Lisa was reportedly having some issues with executives at her label, especially the infamous Clive Davis. And where there's Clive, you already know Diddy is going to show up sooner or later. The running theory with internet detectives is that Diddy was the one who actually had a problem with Lisa, and he used his connection with Clive to take her out. For context, Left Eye and her group TLC were signed to Layface Records in 1991. Layface was a label created between Babyface, L.A. Reid, and Clive Davis's Arista Records. So, Clive Davis indirectly played a huge part in TLC's promotion, releases, and business dealings.
Well, first of all, we didn't pull out any guns on Clive, and we did have a moment, but you got to keep in mind, it's hard to tell every little detail, you know. I mean, so much went on within all those years, and we tried to put as much as we could within 2.5 hours.
I mean, they put the Arista part in there, but you know, it needed to stay clean as well. But we didn't pull a gun out on Clive, actually.
Right.
Basically, $75 million was generated on that album. We didn't really get any, so we wanted to know where the money was at, rather. And LA said it was at Arista, so that's where we went. TLC and Company, yeah.
So how was the gun involved in the story?
Somebody may have had one outside somewhere, you know, but nobody pulled it out on nobody. They just was ordered to take down everything that said TLC.
And what was Clive's reaction to all this?
Actually, it was squashed. Nobody got in trouble.
The problem with this arrangement was that it was good for everyone else but bad for the girls. In their prime, TLC was one of the most commercially successful girl bands in the industry. They were getting that bag. Anything they touched turned to gold. But because they were so young when they got signed to the label, they didn't really understand many of the legal terms in the contract. So they found themselves in a very unfair situation where everyone else was making money off their success, and they were left broke. At some point, they even had to file for bankruptcy. It was that bad. After their first 2 albums dropped, TLC should have been swimming in money because the albums did really well, both critically and commercially. The first album, on the TLC tip, sold over 4 million copies in the US and had 3 top 10 singles. The second album, Crazy Sexy Cool, was also very successful, with Rolling Stone ranking it among the 500 greatest albums of all time. It ended up selling a whopping 7.7 million copies in the US alone, with over 14 million copies sold worldwide. And then in 1996, they won 2 Grammys for Best R&B Album and Best R&B Performance by a duo or group for their song Creep. So, as far as success was concerned, they were right up there with the best of the best. However, they later revealed during a press conference that all that success wasn't reflecting in their bank accounts at all. They were broke.
Trust me, you can sell 10 million albums and be broke if you have greedy people behind you. All right. This is how a group can sell 10 million records and be broke. And everyone, get ready to do your math. When we first started out, we were kind of cocky. Okay, there are 100 points on the album. TLC had 7. Every point is equal to 8 cents. All right? 7 times 8, 56 cents. But as time went on, we learned a lot. That means every time an album gets sold, TLC gets 56 cents. So 10 million records, $5.6 million. Seems like a lot of money. Well, it's not a lot of money when the record company has spent $3 million to record your album. And in the record business, we pay all costs back to the record company. We pay recording costs, video costs. So now we have $2.6 million left. Well, guess what? When you have that much money, you're in about the 47, 48, 49% tax bracket. So that immediately gets deducted to $1.3 million. Then you split the rest 3 ways. You got about $300,000 a piece, if that much. Okay? $300,000. I can buy a nice house with that. And what am I gonna pay my bills with?
What made it even worse was that the girls had hoped they would get a better deal from LaFace since their previous label was ripping them off. But it was almost as if they were worse off now. When it became obvious the big guys weren't going to do anything about their situation, they decided to take matters into their own hands and ambush Clive Davis in his office.
You know, you're gonna hear about this, but we talked about it before. Why did TLC hold Arista hostage?
The record
company, Clive Davis, we held them hostage like guns, the whole shebang. Yeah, it was like that.
According to Chili, Clive was not happy about them ambushing him to ask about their money. So after Diddy snitched on them, Clive must have told him how much he hated what they did, and Diddy decided to make them pay for upsetting his sugar daddy.
TLC had generated on Crazy Sexy Cool $75 million, and they gave us $50,000 a piece. So I was like, what the hell? So, of course, Lisa was the ringleader.
Like, we need to go get our money. I need to know where my MF and money's at.
So, you know, she was locked up in the diversion center for burning down the house. And she was just like,
Okay, we gonna get LaFace and them girls I was locked up with. We gonna drive up there. We gonna take the guns.
and then we had this limo driver.
Wait, she just got out of jail?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
And we had the limo driver, and he was the getaway car. So we went up there and held everybody hostage, and Puffy was the one that snitched us out. Yo, B, yo, your girl's up here mad bugging, yo. And I was like, oh, Puff, why you gonna snitch us out, dog? But he called it, yeah, because we kicked him out of the meeting.
Well, wait a minute. Puffy, mind your damn business.
Because Lisa was like the ringleader of the whole thing, Diddy apparently decided to transfer all his aggression on her. That's probably where the rumors of Diddy being involved in Left Eye's tragic accident came from.
But it was rude. We interrupted Puffy's meeting, you know, and he was having a meeting, and Puff was like, I'm sorry, but we really got to handle this, dog. We need to know where this money at. You know, because we were getting sick and sweating, and, you know, we was like really working hard for this money, and we wanted to know who the hell had our check.
Who had it?
LA said Clive did, so that's where we went.
Well, do he still have it?
All of them got it, you know. Nah,
Give me the names, because I'm going to talk to him right now.
But then there's also the fact that the events leading up to Left Eye's death are too weird to be coincidence. At the time of her death, Left Eye had been on a trip to Honduras, where she stayed at a retreat owned by the controversial Dr. Sebi.
I like them things. Now, y'all understand that animals and stuff, they react off of instinct. That means if you get nervous, they get nervous. If you start doing all of this, then all of a sudden they start getting defensive, and then that's when they want to sting you. But if you leave your door open by accident and a mosquito gets in your room, your whole night, 9 times out of 10, is going to be ruined unless you hunt that mosquito down and kill him.
I killed one yesterday. We can kill him.
Okay?
Mosquito.
Someone was biting me last night. I was mad.
There have been rumors that Dr. Sebi was targeted by Big Pharma because he claimed he could cure all illnesses with herbs, and that HIV didn't cause AIDS. Apparently, some of his treatments were actually valid, but of course, this was a threat to big companies that wanted to keep profiting off of the expensive meds they sell to people. Anyway, Left Eye was a strong believer in Dr. Sebi's treatment, and he even had her on a regimen of herbs when she was in Honduras.
This stick right here will cure. But this ain't it. Hold on. It looks like it.
Are they different?
Oh, yes, it is. Woo! This stuff is, man, we got this drink we're going to be drinking tomorrow. It's so bitter.
Oh, that's the bitter?
The first time y'all taste it, I got to get y'all on film. Yeah.
That's the bitter.
This stuff will cure prostate cancer and give you a natural high. It's unbelievable.
Because of these, some people have speculated that Left Eye's death might have had something to do with the fact that she was promoting Dr. Sebi, but that's not even the creepiest part of her trip to Honduras. Left Eye was having a lot of tension with her label shortly before this trip. This tension led to her leaving TLC and going solo. Then she took things further by breaking ties with Arista Records in 2002 and getting signed with Suge Knight's Death Row Records.
Left Eye joined Death Row. Do you guys know the story behind that?
No, I really don't. I just know she wanted to do a different type of rap music, and then that's the place that she ended up going. I didn't really question it.
Were you guys still working together at the time?
Always.
Yeah, always. We never broke up, and all of us have done individual projects on our time off.
Of course, y'all know about the beef between Diddy and Suge Knight and how it ended up in Tupac and Biggie losing their lives. So Left Eye going to Death Row was just one more reason for Diddy to put her on a hit list. A few weeks before she passed away, Left Eye had a very tragic accident where the minibus she was in ran over a 10-year-old boy. Lisa was not the one driving, but according to reports, she was most affected by the incident. Left Eye took the boy to the hospital, cradling the boy's injured head in her arms the whole way. Unfortunately, the boy later passed away. Left Eye paid for all his medical bills, funeral, and other expenses, but none of this helped with her guilt. In fact, Left Eye reportedly felt so bad about this incident that she started to believe that the boy's spirit was haunting her. And get this, sources close to Left Eye have claimed that Lisa knew her end was around the corner because she kept saying that the boy died instead of her.
In her last days, Lisa reveals to her closest friends that she feels a spirit is chasing her.
There were times I just thought I was gonna die. I have premonitions.
Dreams. I think it's the energy in the air.
All right, can y'all see me?
Left Eye had this belief that because she and the boy shared the same surname, Lopez, his death was meant for her. She never stopped feeling paranoid till she eventually got into the accident that took her life.
Me and Lisa was really close, so no one teaches you how to grieve, but I don't feel like I ever got to grieve properly because I've lost loved ones. Like my aunt passed while I was writing this book. My grandma passed, my cousin passed. But with Lisa, I had to live it out with the world, which I wasn't ready for. Everywhere I went, I seen birth and death numbers, and then I didn't know how to take people smiling at me the next day. I can rap, like, well, huh? What do you mean? If you're looking for somebody like she just passed away yesterday, and then smiling at me and going, can I take a picture? Sorry for your loss. And I was like, I don't feel right about this because you're smiling and I'm unhappy. I'm sad. I'm broken. So I was depressed probably about 2 years. That was my creative partner, and she was family. She really became my cousin too because my uncle's married to her mom to this day, but I just couldn't deal.
The car accident was also another shady part of the whole story, so it went down like this. On April 25th, 2002, Lisa and her crew were in a rented car with Lisa driving when she somehow lost control of the car as she swerved to avoid a truck that suddenly stopped in front of her in an oncoming car. Now, what didn't make sense about this was the fact that the road was practically deserted. There was no reason for anyone to stop in front of Left Eye's car, let alone stop so suddenly that she had to swerve wildly to avoid running into them. There were speculations that the truck and car that stopped in front of Left Eye and made her swerve off the road were sent there to take her out. There are also other details that don't add up. For example, the footage from Left Eye's accident shows that she was not wearing a seatbelt, which made her fly out of the car when it crashed. However, the autopsy also revealed that Left Eye was not under the influence. There were no in her system or anything else that could have caused her to act irrationally. Obviously, in the heat of the moment, she could have made a mistake or miscalculated, but it didn't explain why the accident was so tragic. Now, the crazy thing about Lisa's death is that it seems very similar to other mysterious deaths in the industry, like Aaliyah, for example. One of the weird things about both of their deaths is that they both passed away on the 25th day of different months and different years. Aaliyah passed in August of 2001, and Left Eye passed in April of 2002. The circumstances surrounding their deaths were also both super weird. Aaliyah died in a totally avoidable plane crash. If only someone had actually cared about her safety, she wouldn't have died. To start with, the plane was too small for Aaliyah, her crew, and all their luggage. It would also turn out that the pilot lied on his test, was on drugs, and didn't even have a valid license to fly the plane. On top of all that, Aaliyah didn't want to get on the plane. She reportedly complained about a headache and said she didn't feel safe getting on board. However, someone from her crew gave her some sleeping pills that knocked her out, and she was practically carried into the plane. There have been rumors swirling around that Diddy might have had something to do with her death because she knew a lot about his FO parties and she was threatening to spill the tea. This is also the same theory that has been circulating regarding Left Eye's death, except in her case, there's also the Tupac and Clive Davis angle. Left Eye was close friends with Tupac, and they were so close that almost everyone thought they were an item. In fact, their friendship used to cause fights between Left Eye and her then boyfriend, Andre Ricin.
It was really neat to look at the way he wrote it down. Not only, what he was saying, but how it was written. And a lot of the words he substituted with little symbols, like the eyeball for the word eyes. Man after my own heart.
Where do I start? Let's see, I think that he had a purpose to serve during his time here.
Did we actually lose Tupac?
Out of the universe, there's 100%, 85%, they don't know what's going on. 5% do and want to tell everybody, and then there's the 10% who do and they don't want the other 85% to know. I think he was part of that 5%. I think everyone is sent here on a mission to find themselves and find out what their purpose is and to fulfill it. Now, he accomplished a great deal while he was here.
According to Left Eye's cousin Tangy Foreman, Lisa adored Tupac. If Tupac wanted to go there, she would have dated Tupac, but they both passed away before any of that could happen.
Tupac, what did he mean to me? It was a little weird being in the presence of Tupac, and we're very similar. Similar to the point where we almost clashed. Both Geminis, and it was almost like 4 people being in a room. And I don't know if this has any significance, but I was born on an odd day, the 27th, and he was born on the 16th, which equals to 7 and 9 day, and we were odd. It was very odd when we were together.
This led to another theory that Left Eye knew too much about Diddy and all the shady things he used to do back in the day. Because if you recall, Diddy has also been implicated in Tupac's death. The conspiracy theories are honestly so much that it's impossible to keep track of all of them. But if you have any better theories, or you think all of this is just a big reach, then you should totally let us know in the comment section below. And if you want more juicy stories like this, then be sure to click on this one right here.